Hey guys, Aaron here with Outrunning Ordinary. Wanted to show you something we've been trying to do for a while. Weather right now is 15 degrees outside, pouring snow as of this morning. Not sure what Indiana is doing. However, we're going to work on our JCB. Now, if you looked at one of my other videos or our other videos, you will see we absolutely love this machine. My son drives the nuts off this thing. He drives with his cat. He drives through the woods. He drives through the creeks. He drives through everywhere he can possibly drive. What we're going to do today, and this is our version of taking a battery. This is just using a Bear or Bauer Harbor Freight battery pack and applying a voltage regulator and an adapter. The adapter just connects to the battery. What we're going to do is we're going to take these together. We're going to put them into this JCB Power Wheels Backhoe, and what we're going to do is increase speed, which is a potential. He doesn't need to go this fast because he's a little young. Biggest thing we want to do is change batteries quickly. Now, the original Power Wheels battery that comes in this still operates, it still functions, everything works as it's supposed to. For speed or for a lot of performance, which a lot of different people upgrade to battery packs, again, Bear or Bauer is just a brand. You can use DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, there's all kinds of tool types for different battery packs. What we're doing is we want to change batteries somewhat quickly, somewhat more routinely to allow him to drive longer. So what we'll do is he'll drive typically 15, maybe 20 minutes, depending on the terrain, sometimes 5. Like if we're in the backwoods or in a creek, it's like 5 minutes. If we're on concrete or asphalt, it's usually 15 or 20. We're looking to be able to change the batteries out somewhat quickly, use somewhat of an adapter, which we could get online. We bought this online as a kit. This is a Bear or Bauer battery pack kit on Amazon. Comes with some fuses. This was a separate voltage regulator. This controls voltage from here. This is a 12-volt system. This is an 18, or this is 20, but 18 or 20 volt system is a battery pack. Again, this one's 20. What we're looking to do is allow a battery pack from a impact tool, drill, whatever, with an adapter, with a voltage regulator to make this work. For us, it's quicker battery changes. For us, he wants to ride more than 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes a day, and it charges usually 4 to 6 hours. We have a whole bunch of these. I used to work construction a lot and do a lot of different home DIY stuff, which there's more videos to come of that. We have probably 30 of these. And again, we've got Makita, we've got this, and a couple DeWalt stuff. But most of our stuff is Bauer or Bear. You saw in another video as well. A lot of our stuff we lose, a lot of stuff we break. What we do is we buy the cheaper, somewhat cheaper. They used to be cheap. They're kind of expensive now compared to what they were. But we bought a bunch of Harbor Freight stuff to use around the house and a lot of our DIY stuff, which again, they work great. They were cheaper at one point. Now they're a little more costly than some other stuff, like Craftsman and a couple others are not as expensive, I don't believe. Side note. But what we're doing, we're taking this battery pack, we are taking this voltage regulator, and we're going to make it work. Again, Outrunning Ordinary, this is Aaron. Like and subscribe if you like stuff like this. I'm going to show you the process. I'm going to take the camera forward, zoom in, and it's going to be kind of a direction of aerial view, per se, looking down at this, taking the existing battery out, attaching and plugging in this this battery pack adapter, and then the voltage regulator, which voltage regulator takes the 20-volt battery down to a 12-volt system. The faster, let me rephrase, this voltage regulator adjusts the voltage from the battery to the electric motor. The electric motor with a higher voltage can spin faster. We don't need the speed, so that doesn't really matter for us. What is cool, he's going to grow up a little bit, so we're going to eventually be able to adjust it. I'm still going to keep this down. I'm going to still keep this towards a 12-volt system. Again, primarily for us, this was to allow for longer ride times, quicker battery changes, and minimize 4 to 6 hour, I'm going to call it upload times, which is battery charging. Usually 4 to 6 hours is what it takes to charge these batteries from the original Power Wheel stuff. So we're going to do this battery swap today. If you like this, like and subscribe. There's more stuff to come. It's just a really cold day out. It's pouring snow, so we're in the office. It's a little tighter than we normally are. We're in the office today. Typically, we're in our shop or somewhere else. Our shop is not heated yet. It will be one day. We'll show you that video when it happens. But we're in the office. We're going to work on this today. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see, and we'll get this going. Outrunning Ordinary. Thanks. All right, guys. Hopefully you can see this. A little bit tighter in the office than we normally shoot for, and a little bit more difficult than I realized to film on a camcorder and do this. But what we're going to do, this is our battery, this is our original connector battery. This goes to our motor. I haven't put this together. I've had this put together for a while. I don't remember exactly how this is. This is an in-depth look. I'm going to have to disassemble some of this. I'm going to eventually install, again, this adapter piece plus the voltage regulator. First thing we're going to do is take the seat off, and I'm going to walk through so you guys can see what I see. Hopefully you can see it. This is a zoomed-in look of what we're doing. But I'm going to show you what's going on. I'm going to show you how to do wiring. I'm going to show you how I would do it or how I'm going to do it. And then quickly, hopefully, we can do some quick battery changes. So let's get started. Let me grab a couple tools. I'm going to get a drill and some other stuff for some screws. I believe they're Phillips heads to take apart. Let me get that going, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. Got some tools with us. Got some electrical connectors, crimp tools, wire strippers, the whole 9 yards. We're going to show you how this works, starting from the top. Here we go. Alrighty, first thing we're going to do, we're going to take the seat off. Seat has a little button in the back. You lift it straight off. Underneath the seat, you'll notice some dirt and some other stuff. This is from riding outside in the woods. Now, long story short, this is an angle drill. This is also a Bear or Bauer product. I got this for actual machine stuff and truck installs. So I actually use this drill when I drill bolts and fasteners to mount truck beds on things. That's a true story. So anyway, pretty cool setup. Nice angle drill. I've got a 3 amp on the back. Really does well for what I'm doing. First thing we're going to do is take some screws apart. We're going to see where things are, see what things do, and take it apart. So let's get started. Try to do this as best as possible so you guys can see, and we'll get to work. Okay, so let's take some screws off and start with the battery cover. There's one screw. Notice how some of these screws got a little rust to them. This isn't really supposed to be outside, yet sometimes it happens. In general, this machine's been actually really cool. My boy likes it. Chance and I like it. Really cool setup. One thing we are going to do, which I'll show you possibly this video actually. Well, I unscrew this. The back of the actual excavator arm has a, I'm going to call it a wheelie bar or a wheelie wheel. Notice how I'm trying to lift these up. There's some dirt in here. I can't see all screws right now. But it's got a wheelie screw or a wheelie bar in the back, and what happens when you're a kid and you start digging with the excavator arm, you don't want to, backflip on you. Our boy doesn't really dig with the excavator arm. He likes the look of it. He likes driving around with this machine, but he doesn't actually care about the wheelie part. Now, some of these things are real tight. This thing should just snap out and lift up is what it looks like. I've taken the screws out. And like I said, it's been a minute since I've done this. I've got things unplugged. All the screws appear to be out, unless I'm forgetting something. And sometimes give it a little pry. I'm using a pair of pliers. Huh. Unless this needs to come up too. Let's see here. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've done this. Well, I see the battery. I see everything underneath here. This doesn't want to come out. What it looks like, and I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, wow. There might be a screw on the bottom. Side note. So, let me lift this up and see if there's a screw in the bottom, because I can see a screw. I can see this little stuff. Oh, actually, wait a sec. Hold on. It might be this dark hole that's got dirt in it that I can't see. Might be down here. Yep. Hey, look at that. So it's right up top. Alright, guys, keep your machines clean so you can see it. There's dirt in here. Couldn't see it. Oh, wow. It helps when you take the right screws off. Notice we didn't break anything. Sometimes we like to just send it, but nothing's broken, so that's a good sign. We got a screw in the middle. There is a little bit of dirt in there. I didn't see it. Again, I don't do this stuff all the time, but that's why we're out running ordinary. Now, hopefully you can see this. Let me look back at the camcorder. You can. Cool. Let's see if I can zoom in and try to show what we're looking at. Now, as you can see, this is the battery that this machine comes with. Now, this is our battery. This is our electric motor, or goes to a motor. Now, this actually looks like it goes to a controller. Now, the controller goes to what it appears And again, I have not taken this apart. It goes to 1, 2. So each wheel looks like it has an electric motor, which that's cool. I didn't even know that. So electric motors on each wheel. I thought it was one continuous, maybe like a, I don't know, not a chain drive. That was a gear drive. This has independent, and I don't know if you can see this. I think you can. Maybe. It's down here. See if I can. It's right down here. It's that white thing right here. That is. Hopefully you can see it. Maybe you can't. These are little electric motors, and what I'm assuming, those electric motors turn a little gearbox or something, which I'm not taking all this apart. Those little electric motors turn a little gearbox, which turns your wheels. Obviously, the electric motor on this one probably doesn't turn the whole wheel. Based on placement, where your wheel is here, motor's forward, and that's on both of them. I'm assuming, safe to assume, I'll put it that way, safe to assume that there's a gearbox or some kind of drivetrain in here with this electric motor. So, cool feature. I did not know that. Again, I've never taken one of these apart. This is the first one we've had that we really liked. We have a side-by-side for him. You've seen it in another video. He has a little blue side-by-side. He's more into the backhoe. We obviously have bigger equipment. We run construction and excavation companies. So for us, he sees machines every day. I'm taking the battery out. He sees machines every day, so for him, he likes to have his own machine. Now, side note, he doesn't know it yet. I don't know if it'll be for Christmas. I don't know if it'll be for something else, but we're going to get him a tractor or a different setup for him, machine-wise. Now, notice here, so cool feature, this is the battery. This is a little smaller than I realized. This is a 12-volt, 4.5 amp, says 20 hour. I don't know what that means. But anyway, it'd be funny if that's charge time. I don't think that's it, but that'd be funny. Anyway, 12 volt. So it's a 12-volt battery, which I was right, I guessed. It's got voltage regulation internal, blah, 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 less than this current. Okay, this is battery stuff. Anyway, the point is, this is smaller, I think, than a lot of the other Power Wheels batteries. Maybe I'm wrong, but the side-by-side he has, again, the blue one, has a battery that's 2 or 3 times this. So massive setup. Again, the only reason we're changing any of this is to allow us for quicker battery changes. Now, notice size-wise, the original battery and then what we're putting in, somewhat the same size. I mean, obviously it's a little taller in one area, but I mean, it's about the same size. So what's cool about this, I don't believe I have to do too much modification to make this work. Now, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see this whole thing. I don't really have a way to turn this. These are probably relays, I'm assuming. It says do not bypass. I bet these are relays. It looks like a relay. Something. Long story short, when we have noticed this, when he runs into things, and that does happen, when he runs into things, what happens is the motor goes, and stops. And I'm assuming, and then he hits the gas pedal again, or the go pedal, and it doesn't go. I'm assuming these little relays need to be reset, or something in here is a safety feature so the motors just don't burn themselves up. So, side note, that being said, there's controllers, everything else is still connected. This has 2 motors instead of 1. This has it all running through a, I'll see if I can turn this, through a system that is a controller or a smart device. I'm not sure what you call it, but it basically, I'm assuming it takes your, and I can see this, once connected to the battery, this takes your positive and negative from your battery, goes into a system. I'm going to ECU, PCM, whatever. I don't know on these toys. It's a controller to input gas pedal. There's a signal in there. It's going to detect how far goes what and vice versa. But anyway, when you hit the pedal, it's going to go to this box, which is the processing unit. Again, I don't know what it's called in these little guys. This then diverts out, which I can see, from the processing unit to the motors. So all I'm going to do, and what it makes sense to me, I looked this up a little bit, but not really. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this adapter, which this is bought on Amazon, and it takes our 20-volt Bear or Bauer battery, and it plugs it together. We now have a positive and negative with a separate switch, which is cool on the ground side, and a positive, which it's got a relay, it's got a fuse in here, which if I can get it apart, I will in a second. 30 amp fuse. In general, you never really, and this is kind of a safety electrical 101, you never want to just hook power straight up to something. A, you don't know what it is. B, we have a 20-volt system versus a 12. Long story short, if there's ever a short to ground, where it's a direct connect to ground, what it'll do is it'll blow this fuse. It should prevent a fire. It should prevent other complications, battery getting melted, wires getting melted. Things can happen when electrical components touch the wrong thing. So, keep the fuse in. This came with the kit. There's a separate one with a regulator as well that they sent us. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this positive and negative from our adapter to our battery. I'm going to mount inside here like so. Maybe put it on the ground like so. On the ground as in the floor. Set it in there like so. Hook this up. This might actually, because it's the same, I just realized this, it's the same size as this. So what's cool, we might be able to just kind of set it in here. Maybe make like a little cushion or gravity set, and then when we pull it out, I'll take this apart. We'll just switch to quick battery change. What I could do, and I might do this down the road, I might do something where I kind of make it somewhat external, where the battery is just conveniently on the back. Again, this has an excavator on. He just doesn't really use it. So I will do something down the road to make this quicker change. Because again, this is why we're doing this. When we drive, he drives 15, 20 minutes a day. We usually can do it 2 or 3 times a day. He would drive this all day, every day. He would melt this thing to the ground if he could. So we're doing the battery swap, voltage regulator swap, not to get speed or necessarily performance. For us, it's just quicker battery changes. So we're going to hook this up. We're going to play with this. I'm going to look at some spacing. I will film on what we do, again, installation connection-wise. One thing real quick I want to touch base on, the way the voltage regulator works, and I just hit the camera. Let me step back and make sure this actually is good. Okay, cool. If you can see, I'm going to try to zoom in on this. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can. Okay, so you might not be able to. Cool. Yeah, okay. Here's the point. The 4 terminals or 4 wires that can go into it. It's got a power positive and a power negative. That's the input. It's got a motor positive and a motor negative. So what we're going to do, and I know this because I've charged it already, and generally, this is usually the case. Your colored red wire is power. Your black wire is your ground. Now, if we wanted to test this just to make sure, and we can, I might do this just for you guys to see. Well, I can test it already, show you. 2 ways. One, again, this is a power and ground, which is your original battery. So your original battery is right here. If you look, obviously, your negative goes to your black wire. Well, your black wire goes to this connector, which is straight. This connector that's straight is also your black wire. So that's a real quick way to tell. You can't get a voltmeter or a multimeter out to test these. This one's pretty straightforward. So you get your positive, which is red, your negative, which is black. This is your original battery. This is your, again, it says it's a fuse, but I think it's a relay, or maybe not a relay. I forgot what it's called when it's a safety click off. I have to look it up. But anyway, the point is, what I'm planning to do, I am planning to take the positive battery, the negative battery, into the power positive, power negative. Make sure you hit the correct terminals. Do not put this backwards. Take the positive red to the motor, negative black to the motor, and put it there. And then what I plan on doing, possibly mounting this on the side. Again, possibly putting it outside in the back. This is your dial to adjust the voltage. The voltage adjusted, I don't know which direction's what. I haven't tested it yet, but the direction one way all the way is fully slow, 12 volts. The direction to the top is all the way to 18 to 20. The higher the voltage, the more power or speed you'll get out of this. That doesn't matter to us. We're trying to change the battery. I'm going to hook this up so you guys can see it work. I am going to put this in so you can see it. But again, I might change this later. It'll probably be in a separate video, or probably. We'll take this battery, we'll take this connector or adapter, take the regulator, and but maybe the regulator stays in here. We'll take the battery and put it quickly on the outside, maybe just somewhere in the back, screw it to the side, and all that's going to do is just going to allow for quick battery changes. Again, the biggest thing he likes to do is drive this. Doesn't care so much about digging. He just likes to use the bucket, load things up, and turn this thing to go. So this is what it looks like. This is how I'm doing it. Again, I've never done this. This is a battery that came out that is the same size almost. I mean, it's pretty close. That is a pretty close setup to what we're doing. And this fits very easily in here. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to wire a few things up with some connectors, and we're going to get this going. Hopefully you guys learn something or see that you guys could do this too. Dads, if you're out there, moms, whoever. If your kids have power toys and they power wheels and they love how these things are. For us, we don't care about speed. We want better or longer runtime. Somewhat more difficult to get to this process and start switching out these type of batteries versus using power tool batteries we already have. Once this is on the outside, wherever, quickly input and then go. Obviously disconnected, connected, and then go. Like, we should get the amount of batteries we have here. We should be melting the motors down there. I'm making a joke. the electric motors should catch on fire before, and this is a joke, this is not going to catch on fire. The electric motor should burn to the ground and overheat before we run out of battery options, which again is why we're doing this. So this is the process. I'm going to show you when it's wired up. I know this is somewhat of a longer video, but I want you guys to see what I'm looking at. For you guys out there that you've never done this, that's okay. I have not either. It's not that hard. So we're going to hook this up like we want to. Controls, functions, power switch and button, which are separate little forward reverse things on here, which somehow, okay, that must have been residual electricity. I just hit the on button and the switch came on. I was like, oh wow. But anyway, we are just going back to where it goes. So all we're doing, where it goes, all we're doing is taking the battery replacement, the voltage regulator, and connecting to here. We're not doing anything else, and this should work. So hope you guys learned something. This is not done by any means. I'm going to hook this up. We're going to lift it up and show you how it works. Adjust the dial, see if it speeds up or not, and then go from there. Alright guys, so I've got this zoomed in. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully this makes sense. Here's how I did it. Okay, this is hooked up. I should have tested it on a camera. I got excited. Everything works. But I want to show you this. Here's what I've done. Here is our 20 volt Bauer, or Bear is what I call it, if you can see this, 20 volt battery. What I've done is I've taken the adapter. I only temporarily did this. I'm going to make it better. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I was going to tuck this underneath and almost hide it as in the original battery used to be. I don't want that to happen, or I didn't do that because I want to be able to change this quickly, somewhat easily, so our boy can ride longer. We've got a lot of these batteries, quick interchange. So what I did, pretty simple process, I'm going to use my screwdriver as a pointer. What I did was the positive and negative, which are here, I'll use a screwdriver, right here and here, the positive and negative, which go to your battery adapter, which connect to your battery. I drilled a hole in the plastic. I ran the two wires through here. Notice it's got an on-off switch for the ground side. It's also got a 30 amp fuse in here for the positive side. What I've done, and again, side note, you guys might laugh. Those of you that know me or know us or follow us for a while know we build engines. We do a lot of race car stuff. We've done a lot of industrial technology and hydraulics and welding and all kinds of things and building things. The reason I say this, and I make a joke, of course, what color are these wires? These are all white. That is the color that we had. Smart people use black and red or color-oriented color schemes to allow for quick repairs down the road. Us, we know what we're looking at, which that means we're going to forget and have to trace wires back down the road. We use the same color. So if you notice, these are all, and hopefully the camera can zoom in on this. This is our voltage regulator. This is our voltage adjuster. I actually put heat shrink connectors, which I haven't heat shrunk yet. Heat shrink connectors. I put them in there properly. I wired everything like it's supposed to. Notice how the fuse, this says this is a fuse. I thought this was a relay. It says it's a fuse. Notice the fuse is still hooked up to where it's supposed to go. Motor positive. Remember, that's our controller, which you can see right here. I'll use my pointer. Actually, let me get my screwdriver out again. Our positive goes right here. Or our controller, sorry. Our controller, which controls our switch, which controls our foot pedal, controls the two electric. See that right there? That's electric motor for this side. That's electric motor for this side. From what I've seen, some of the older Power Wheels have one motor. Maybe I'm wrong. This one has two. This one goes through a controller right here. So what I've done, I took the voltage regulator. I hooked the original, they call it a fuse. I think it's a relay, but they call it a fuse. The original fuse, which they put all these marks on there, I hooked it into the power source of the positive side of the computer or the ECU if it was a vehicle, or PCM. You know, this controls everything, your control thing. I've hooked the power up to here. I hooked the power to the motor side to the controller, the ground of this, same thing, to the ground side of the motor, positive to the battery, positive, negative to the battery. So again, this is a simple setup of how it is. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully the camcorder setup is not too atrocious for you guys to notice this. What's cool, and I think it's unique to this setup, this has a little tuck right down here, and hopefully you guys can see it, and I'll play with it later. Look how nice and easy it is. It tucks. It doesn't really move. I can put something on top of it or move it. I think it's got holes in it, and it's made of aluminum, possibly, or metal to heat dissipate. Like anything electrical, I'm sure it builds heat when it's in operation, but it tucks in really well. Notice we're still going to put, which I That's right here. Notice when we put our seat, everything back together, and everything sits like it does and should, we have access to our battery, we have access to an external on-off switch, the pedal and the other controls are still up front and good to go. So what I wanted to show you, very simple, you guys, moms, dads, whoever, grandparents, you guys can do this on your own. Buy on Amazon. I bought this, I think it was $13, $15. The adapter was maybe $8 or $9. It came in a 2-pack, so I might have paid $9. The point is, use your voltage regulator. It's already got dirt on it, so cool. Use your voltage regulator, wire it positive, wire it negative to the power, and then motor positive, motor negative. Again, use the controller. Don't change the controls up. Leave the Backhoe or JCB controls the same. I wired their fuse up, which I think is a relay. Side note, doesn't matter. Wired that back into the positive side. Everything electronically stays the same in the Backhoe or this power wheels. All we've done is change the battery. What's cool is, and I'll show you how it works, I've got this kind of set up, and it's in the most crazy way possible. I don't think I showed you this. I've got a piece of plywood in our office on 2 motocross stands for like dirt bikes, and that's holding this thing off the ground, so it's kind of funny. But notice how, if you can see my hand, maybe you can't, the wheels do turn, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this works. We're going to slide this battery in like so. Again, positive, if I do it right, positive, negative, everything's like it's supposed to. Slide the battery in like so, let it click. Next thing I'm going to do, you can't see this because the camera's not positioned. I'm going to go ahead and hit the on switch. There's an on switch and a forward and reverse back here. I'm going to hit this right here, which is our power. My red light comes on here. My red light comes on here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Maybe you can't. I'm not sure. So if we wanted to, my boy likes to play with the controls up front, so this won't apply to us. But if you wanted to, hopefully you can see it. I think there's red there. If you want to, you can control all the power in the back. Notice the lights off. Again, the power is this switch right here. Hit this button, turns on. Now, when I hit the gas pedal or the go pedal, you'll hear this turn. Now, it obviously works. It obviously engages. The more I turn to the right, the faster the wheels spin. The more I turn to the left, the slower. And actually, yeah, it barely turns until I get to about just a little bit, and then it turns up. So, long story short, I know this is a little bit long. I know this is a little bit in depth, but I was trying to make it as simple as possible. I didn't use any quick connects. I saw the ones that came with the kit, and I didn't really like them. They weren't really up to my liking. But I put heat shrink connectors. I will finish heat shrinking this. I didn't just stick the wires in or stub them in and screw it tight. I actually put the actual connectors like we're supposed to, as in, you know, a typical wiring thing. I'm going to heat shrink this because this will be exposed to outside. Again, very simple. This voltage regulator takes the motor positive and motor negative, which again, red and black, and the same power, P, positive and negative, red and black. Here, I have just made this external. He doesn't use the Backhoe attachment. If he does, I can always relocate this. I only put one screw in here for simplicity. Notice, side note, I'll put this down. Notice how quick and easy it will be for me to change batteries. Let's say the battery runs out. Because again, we changed this and adjusted all of this for quick battery changes so he could use it. Clip this like so, disconnect it, put our new battery in, and go. I made a joke earlier. I fully expect this thing to catch on fire. This is a joke. Catch on fire, burn the motors to the ground, and not work anymore due to the fact that we have nothing but batteries and just can power this through. So hopefully this explains a couple things. I know a million people, and I'm using a metaphor, have done this swap already. This is nothing new or exclusive to us. A lot of them kind of broadly overview of what things do and don't do. Hopefully this makes some sense. So again, voltage regulator, external battery impact driver. I'm using Bayer or Bauer. You can use a DeWalt. In Milwaukee, they make adapters, which is here on Amazon or Google or Walmart or wherever. But you buy this. I got the kit where it came in a 2-pack, so you can do it for a side-by-side too. He's got a plastic side-by-side. But here's your voltage regulator. Again, positive, negative, motor positive, motor negative to the controller. Controller, which does all the pedal buttons, forward, reverse, on, off switch. That stays the same. This goes to positive, negative, and it's as simple as that. So hopefully you guys like it. Thank you for watching Outrunning Ordinary. Hopefully you learned something. We're going to have fun with this. This Backhoe is going to be full use to the test. We're going to see how long it can run now. That might be another video. But guys, this is it. So hopefully you learned something. Thanks for watching. By the way, side note, we got our wristbands in. If you can see this, I don't know if I can zoom in or not. It is sick. Look at our little logo. So if you guys like this, you guys like, hey, I want a wristband. We've got glasses. We've got hats. we're going to start giving stuff away because we want to connect. The whole reason we're doing this for us, you can't see me when I'm doing this because our office is set up with this Backhoe setup. The whole reason we're doing this is so we can connect with people. Our son can have video evidence of what we did when he was younger, which I think that's really cool. YouTube's a really cool feature for us to do that. And again, we're getting positive feedback, and thousands of you guys are really liking what we're doing. So we're super excited. We want to start giving stuff away. We've got wristbands, we've got glasses, we've got hats and shirts and all kinds of stuff. We want to make this fun, and we want to make it engaging. Hopefully you guys learn something. Hopefully you guys like and subscribe. If you can see my thumb, this might be the craziest video ever in the fact that we are in our office with a backhoe doing electrical work on a plywood table with a motocross stand. So guys, hope you like it. I know I talked a lot. Out running ordinary.